Your Havoc demonhunter can do completely insane bursts with Fel-Scarred at the beginning of each Mythic Plus dungeon, way more than normal if you play it properly. You are going to abuse an old trick from Season 1 and combine it with a new Cycle of Hatred talent. What you want to do is to get into Metamorphosis before the key starts and maintain it long enough to reach the first pool while you are still in demon form. Thanks to the Fel-Scarred hero tree, all of your AoE abilities will be buffed by 30% and you will have extra Demon Surge explosions pre-loaded, ready to unleash on the first pack. You follow a slightly different approach in each dungeon based on how long it takes to reach the first pool. I have split the dungeons between easy, medium, and hard ones, so I'm gonna break them down group by group. In every dungeon, you should stack your Cycle of Hatred stacks before starting. Just get Fury with Immolation Aura and cast I-Beam a few times. The easiest two dungeons are the Rookery and Cinderbrew Mediary. In those two, the first pool pretty much starts right away. You wanna I-Beam and Metamorphosis right before you put the keystone in. If you need Fury for I-Beam, just use your Immolation Aura charges, they will be reset by Metamorphosis anyway. As you approach the pool, you want to Death Sweep, spend all your Consuming Fire charges, followed by Sigil of Doom and 1 Annihilation. This first part procs 4 Demon Surges. After that is complete, you want to let your demon form expire and get back into normal form. Cast I-Beam to reactivate Demonic, followed by Annihilation and Death Sweep to proc Inner Demon and 2 more Demon Surges. Finally, you cast your Metamorphosis and spend everything all over again. You cast Death Sweep, spend all your Consuming Fire charges, followed by 1 Annihilation and Abyssal Gaze. Close your burst with 1 more Death Sweep and Sigil of Doom. This final part will give you 5 more Demon Surges, adding up to a total of 11 huge explosions. Now sometimes you might not be able to pull this off exactly like this and you need to adapt. This will happen either when your tank pulls very slowly or when you get a lot of Consuming Fire procs. In that case, you have to skip the second part where you drop Demon Form. Instead, you will be casting Abyssal Gaze as part of your opener so that you extend your Demon Form by another 5 seconds and get enough time to cast all your empowered abilities before Metamorphosis drops. Following this sequence, you will get 1 less Demon Surge in total, but you will get more damage from other sources instead. Let's check this out in a quick VOD of my Cinderbrew run. I chose this run on purpose because I made some mistakes that are great points for discussion. I've done my preparation and I'm entering the first pool with around 6 seconds left in Demon Form, which is not much. I open with the hand and start spending my Consuming Fire charges. This is the first mistake. I should start with Death Sweep. As you see, I pull aggro immediately, so I cast Shadow Meld and Blur. I could definitely cast Blur earlier to be safe, right before casting the hand. After Shadow Melding, Threat drops and I'm more or less fine. I cast Consuming Fire 4 times in total and my meta is about to expire. Still, I do not extend it. I cast Sigil of Doom and then Death Sweep. Here, my plan was to fit Abyssal Gaze within the animation of Death Sweep, but I did not have enough haste for it. This was completely unnecessary. I knew Demon Form was dropping, so I should cast Abyssal Gaze earlier to be safe. This way, I lost 2 Demon Surges. One because I never casted Abyssal Gaze, and one because I never casted Annihilation. Since my Demon Form dropped, I now get 2 more Demon Surges and I cast Annihilation and Death Sweep to spend them, before going into my big Metamorphosis to reset everything. This time around, I start correctly by immediately casting Death Sweep. However, I follow with Sigil of Doom, 1 Consuming Fire, 1 Annihilation, and then Abyssal Gaze. So what I am doing is spending all of my Demon Surges as soon as possible, which is not correct. After you get Death Sweep on cooldown, you want to spend all your Consuming Fire charges first and then spend your Demon Surges. The reason for this is that Consuming Fire slowly does its damage over 10 seconds and you want it to be buffed by your Signet of the Priory trinket and your DPS spot throughout most of its duration. On the contrary, Demon Surge damage happens instantly, so you can delay it. If you enjoy the content, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel so YouTube will show you more of my videos. And if you are willing to go the extra mile, consider becoming a channel member to help me grow Fel-Scarred TV and make more and better videos. In the medium difficulty, we have Operation Floodgate, Theater of Pain, and Mechagon Workshop. In all of these dungeons, the first pull does not happen immediately, but still relatively quickly. You need to do a small adjustment to make it in time. Before the keystone is put in, you cast your regular I-beam plus Metamorphosis, but you also cast Abyssal Gaze to get an extra 5 seconds of demon form. This way, you sacrifice one demon surge, but you make sure you can get to the first pool while still being in Metamorphosis. Everything else remains the same. Ideally, you want to spend all your damage, let Metamorphosis drop, cast I-beam to get 2 more demon surges, and then pop your Metamorphosis to reset everything again. There is still a chance that your tank pulls slowly, or that you will get a lot of consuming fire procs, and that you will not be able to spend everything on time before your initial Metamorphosis drops. Once again, do not hesitate to cast Abyssal Gaze again when it is off cooldown to double extend your demon form. This means that you will once more completely skip the part where you drop Metamorphosis and that you will lose 2 Demon Surge explosions by doing this. But it is still better than losing everything. Let's check another quick VOD from Mechagon Workshop. You see me here doing the full preparation including Abyssal Gaze. Even like this, I start DPSing with 4 seconds left on meta. It is clear that I will need to do a double extend. Again, here I open with Consuming Fire instead of Death Sweep, which is a mistake. This is a bad habit I really need to fix. I instantly blur to avoid dying, and I cast Abyssal Gaze to do the double extend 1 second before Metamorphosis drops. Another small mistake is that I have not yet activated Signet of the Priory and my DPS potion, so I'm already losing some damage. You see that even with double extend, I can barely get all my cooldowns off before Metamorphosis dropping. At this stage, I-beam has 12 seconds cooldown left. I am not going to wait for that. I immediately pop Metamorphosis and do the rest of my combo. Finally, in the hard category, we have Priory of the Sacred Flame, Motherlode, and Dark Flame Cleft. It is very hard, but still possible to maintain your demon form long enough in these dungeons if your tank pulls super fast. You definitely need to do a double extend in all of them to make sure you maximize your chances to actually make it. No matter which dungeon you play, you always have to remember, you will be using this trick in the first pool of the dungeon. This is often the most dangerous pool where a lot of keys break, so make sure you keep the following things in mind. Number 1. Let the tank gather the pool properly. If you start popping demon surges while the tank is still gathering, mobs will scatter, you will die, and the queue will be broken. If you feel like the tank is pulling too slow and that you are not gonna make it, you can cast Abyssal Gaze to extend your demonic window. Just make sure you do not hit anything with Abyssal Gaze and that you are away from any mobs so that you don't hit them with demon surge either and you don't get aggro. Number 2. Even if the tank has gathered the pool, there is still a high chance that you will get aggro from at least 1 or 2 mobs. Cast Blur before you even start pumping to avoid dying, and be ready to cast Shadow Meld as soon as you get aggro. Number 3. There are multiple mobs casting dangerous spells. Keep an eye on them, and if you notice that nobody from your team actually makes an effort to interrupt them, make sure you stop your damage and cast Chaos Nova or Sigil of Misery to control the mobs, or even use Darkness if no AoE interrupts are available. If you wanna know how to best play your Fel-Scarred Havoc Demonhunter in Mythic Plus, check my full guide by clicking the video on screen or the link in the description. And as always, see you in the next one!